All right, March of the Machines Part 5 is here, and it is heartbreaking. This story is a continuation of what feels like the main story of Wrenn and Seven and Chandra going to New Phyrexia and trying to deal with the World Breaker. Wrenn and Seven is going there to commune with the World Breaker to try and turn it less evil, which means that we're probably not getting the Wrenn and Seven World Tree versus Nissa World Breaker Tree Kaiju fight. That would have been cool, though. But we are getting Heartbreak instead of trees fighting. We're getting Heartbreak. Before we get to that, so Chandra and Wrenn planeswalk to the plane. They meet up with Melira and Koth. Koth is a little like, at this point, just like, none of these planeswalkers are all dumb. They're not going to do anything. Why? Stop coming here. You're making it worse. Melira has more of an attitude of like, hey, we gotta try stuff. We can't just give up. So sure, Tree Lady and Fire Lady, why don't we try something? To sneak onto the tree, they actually meet up with Urbrask. Urbrask and Chandra have a little bit of a like dick measuring contest of who's more hot-headed, and Koth ends up being the one. A lot of fiery personalities in this chapter. Urbrask has like a secret path that gets you within eyesight of the World Tree without needing to go through like the armies below. Melira and the other Mirrans go off to like distract the Legionnaire to kind of draw their attention away from it even further. And Koth literally yeets Chandra and Wrenn across the chasm to the tree. But even that's not easy. They end up running into a bunch of swooping lookouts and other nasty flying little buggers that they have to fight off. Chandra uses fire. Wrenn grabs one and starts beating the other ones with the one she grabs. And they unsafely, Chandra literally, I think, breaks a rib, land on one of the tree branches or branching platforms that lead to the tree. And, as the great and late Admiral Akbar once said, it's a trap. Because they land and a bunch of porcelain legionnaires just form themselves out of nothing on the branch because that's the thing they can do. And, Nissa is there. And it's heartbreaking. Chandra on seeing Nissa gives the classic, if there are 1,000 fans, I am one of them. If there are one fan, I am that one fan. And if there are no fans of Nissa, then I am dead speech. That I'm just going to read because it's heartbreaking. Because she recognizes the face, she recognized it anywhere. The way its cheeks round with it laughs. Because she recognizes that face, she recognizes it anywhere. The way its cheeks round when it laughs, the ears prone to twitching, the small nose, the mouth so often corked into a secret smile. If all of the memories in Chandra's head poured out of her like molten metal into a blacksmith's pitcher, and this one would remain stubbornly lodged inside. Nissa. It can't be, but it has to be. Even with 2 new arms grafted onto her body, even with black tears streaking her cheeks, even when so much of her is now copper, root, and bramble, Chandra recognizes her. Even the way she tilts her head towards Chandra is the same. Words unsaid weigh down Chandra's tongue, the agony of recognition tears at her heart to recognize her, to recognize Nissa. Like this hurts worse than dying. She's almost sure what could hurt more than this. But then Nissa speaks, and Chandra has her answer. Nissa's voice is the one thing that hasn't changed. So yeah, just heartbreaking, but don't worry. They're just roommates. Don't worry about it. Then there's a lot of conversations between the two of them. Nissa is trying to convince Chandra, hey, you should join us. It's, dope. You all regular humans suck. We're great. Normal Phyrexian, tempting you with love and eternal togetherness for a lack of autonomy and becoming a weird robot horror monster. Chandra gets close a few times. She also realizes that she could just kill all of these people, but if she does, she could kill Nissa, which she's unwilling to do at this point. While this is happening, Nissa is just destroying Wrenn. Chandra is pierced to the back of Seven with spears in her clothes, and one of her legs gets stabbed through. And then as Nissa is just tearing Seven apart limb for limb, Seven just straight up dies. Wrenn is left on the floor. It's slowly, quietly pretending she's dead as she creeps towards the tree, because if she can get to Realmbreaker, she might be able to save the day. Chandra notices. Nissa notices that Chandra notices. Nissa wraps cables around Wrenn, but then this is kind of when Chandra starts being I really love this girl, but she's falling in with a bowed crowd. And I gotta save my mentee, Wrenn. So Wrenn starts like heating the cables up, turning all fiery. I don't think Nissa realized that the tree mage was also a fire mage. Chandra then also blows up the platform as Wrenn is able to grab onto the branch of the Realm Breaker, and everyone other than Wrenn falls off of the platform, and that's when the story ends. It's a pretty heartbreaking story. It's a very interesting story also within the context of the greater at large idea of what this relationship has been through the magic community, and how the magic community has kind of through force of will reestablished that this is a core relationship to the story. It's definitely a benefit that Wizards is no longer trying to make books that they can sell in countries like China and Iran and outside the world. And also just the people in charge of that are no longer in charge, because I'm glad that they're at least romantically involved again. We are getting the heartbreak of these two, and there is a lot of chopiness, where often when there are lesbian couples in properties, one of them will die, and it's one of the reasons I'm hoping there's a way to save Nissa, especially since they're reestablishing that. I will say one thing that we do know for sure is that Teferi is on his way. For some reason, Wrenn can feel Teferi arriving shortly. We don't know when or how he's going to show up, but he's on his way, and he's one of the other planeswalkers going to Phyrexia along with Chandra and Wrenn to stop it directly. This is like the third time Wrenn has brought it up, so it's probably going to happen. I am sad we're not getting a Realm Breaker versus the World Tree face-off. Maybe we still will get that, because Realm Breaker is currently invading Kaldheim, but I don't think Wrenn is going to be piloting it, which I think is a missed opportunity. This character moment is more important, but trees fighting each other. I want to see some fucking fighting trees. Lastly, some small complaints. I wish Koth was more of an active participant in this war. I've waited a long time for Koth to get back, and he just seems to kind of always be like on the side. He does mention that Elesh Norn has taken Karn's head and is doing stuff with it, so they are unable to save Karn's head. Elesh Norn still has the head, which I do think is maybe still a key in solving everything. And the other benefit is that now that Wrenn is able to commune with Worldbreaker, Chandra is basically separated from Nissa. It did not set it up as Nissa was killed here. This is Chandra and Nissa are both flung off into the distance. Chandra has the ability to, blow stuff up, which is great for her. Especially since we know that at some point Chandra is going to spirit bomb and, the tree, right? That's what's happening here. This is a spirit bomb. She's the beacon of hope. She's Gokuing.